All praise to the Most High, Ahaya, and to his son, Yeshaya, the Messiah. Hallelujah. This is Brother Holly here on the AHAYAH'S channel, as well as the House of Ahaya channel, with the Spirit of Truth broadcast for this set-apart Sabbath day. I would like to first give a shout out to the Most High for another glorious Sabbath. Can I tell you how much I've enjoyed being a servant of the Most High, getting in line with his word, getting in line with his spirit, and walking in all the truth as it is written in the scriptures. Hallelujah. One disclaimer before we begin. As you just saw, Brother Holly got the sniffles. Brother Holly has been diagnosed with the CD19 last week, and early in this week, and I'm on COVID jail until next Sunday. So I'm just supposed to stay in the house, isolate from everybody, as well as not go out for anything, and to monitor my condition, and if it gets bad, to cry out for assistance, which seems kind of backwards to me. I would, if it was me, I would treat people as soon as they, come up positive. But that's not the protocol. They just kind of send you home to fend for yourself. So I thank the Most High that, he has been faithful to me. He has kept me. He's comforted me by his spirit and by his presence. And I'm full. I got plenty. And I'm thankful also that the Most High has a cadre of people here that have surrounded me at this time, and they've planned on checking on me on a day-to-day basis. And if I need anything, I just raise my hand, and they'll just be very, very responsive. So I'm just thankful for that. So if I seem a little, my volume seems a little off, or my voice seems a little raspy, please forgive it, and as well as just try to follow along best you can. I'll try to get the strength up and get the volume up, and keep pressing on for the Most High. Hallelujah. Let's go. We're going to continue the series on the hidden Hebrews of the New Testament, and we're going to delve into Galatians chapter 3. I know y'all been waiting on it. And we're going to start in our review in Galatia, starting at chapter 3, verse 10. And we're going to be able to show, I'm prayerful, we should be able to show that the people that Paul was writing to in Galatia were in fact hidden Hebrews, as well as the people he wrote to in Rome, he wrote to in Corinth, and he wrote to in other places. And the ones here in Galatia, the very scriptures that the Universalists run to try to say that the Most High is trying to save everybody, basically speaks against what they believe, and they didn't even realize it. So I'm gonna hope to show that from the scriptures as well. Y'all all right? All right, I hope so. Let's begin. Galatians chapter 3. Let's start reading at verse 10. For those who are of the works of the law are under the curse. Now, when I see the word works of the law, I see that phrase, I often understand works to mean sacrifices, because there were sacrifices, specific sacrifices for sin in the law. Certain sins require different things, different kind of sacrifice. So it was the sacrifices that were done away with in Messiah. Messiah did not end obedience to the law, statutes, commandments, judgments, or his precepts. That didn't end when he was crucified. What did end was that you needed to bring a animal sacrifice for the sin that you committed in accordance with the law. That ended, for he was the one sacrifice forever for sin, for us. Hallelujah. So let's read it. I'm going to read it like I see it. For those who are of the sacrifices of the law are under the curse. For it is written, cursed is everyone who will not do all that is written in this law. Now that the man is not justified to AHAYAH by the law, it is evident, because it is written, the just one will live by faith. Now, I'm going to stop right there for a moment. The Most High started dealing with me about a month ago on the difference between faith and trust. And what the Most High showed me, and is still showing me, is that the difference is like night and day. And he gave me an example or a way to communicate this. That it might help you understand, because it helped me. The difference is, say if I told you, give me your account number and I will deposit $5,000 in your account. Now, if you have trust in me, you'll go, here you go, Brother Holly. Here's my account number. And thank you for that $5,000. But if you just had faith in me, but you just wasn't really sure, you might say something to this effect. Well, I'll tell you what, Brother Holly, I'm not going to give you my account number, but you can go get that money in cash and hand it to me, and I'll be thankful. Now, there may be a lot of good reasons for me not to want to give you the money in the form of cash. And most of them are coming from a tax liability from the giver, myself. Because as soon as I receive that money as in cash into my hand, it's considered personal income. And if I'm giving it away to you, I got to pay tax on that. But if I transfer it, and it never becomes income to me, if I transfer it from my account to your account, it's never income for me. It's income for you. So that's just a simple, life example of the difference between faith and trust. If you trust me, you'll just hand over the account number. You'll trust that I'll protect your information. You'll trust that I'm good to what I said. You'll trust that what I'm doing is the right thing in the right way. But if you just have faith in me, you might have some reservations. You might question, maybe Brother Holly is pulling my leg. I don't know what he's trying to pull here. Maybe he ain't really got $5,000. He's just trying to get access to my account. So, use that in your deliberations on that point between faith and trust. And so a lot of times when I see the word faith in the New Testament, I insert the word trust in my mind, because I believe that the Most High by His Spirit was trying to communicate trust to us and not faith. So I'm going to read it like I see it. Now that a man is not justified to AHAYAH by the law, it is evident, because it is written, the just one will live by trust. Now the law was not of trust, but whosoever will do those things that are written in it will live by them. And Messiah redeemed us from the curse of the law and became a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is everyone who hung on a tree. And here's the verse that all the universalists run to. Verse 14, that the blessing of Abraham would be on the uncircumcision, that's the Gentiles, by Yeshua Messiah, and that we would receive the promise of the Spirit by trust. Now, herein lies the quintessential misspeak by the universalists. They just read the first part of that verse, but the moment it talks about a promise being conferred, it tells us in Romans chapter 9 that promises are reserved for the children of Jacob, and the children of Jacob alone. If there are covenants, it's children of Jacob. If there's promises, it's children of Jacob. If the law, children of Jacob. The service of the temple, children of Jacob. The glory, children of Jacob. All these things, the adoption, children of Jacob. We're going to read a little bit more about that in a moment. All these things identify who the target audience was. And it's right there in black and white. Now, this promise of the Spirit is found in Joel chapter 3. And we're going to read from the AHAYAH'S Bible. I'm sorry, Joel chapter 2. it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit, verse 28, upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaidens in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of AHAYAH come. And it shall come to pass, this is the key, verse 32, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of AHAYAH shall be delivered. And here's when we narrow down the target audience. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as AHAYAH have said, in the remnant whom AHAYAH shall call. Now, nowhere in the Testaments, Old or New, do you see at any time anyone besides a child of Jacob being referred to as the remnant. This promise of the Spirit being poured out is upon the remnant. This promise of the Spirit in Galatians, that we will receive the Spirit through trust, is for the remnant, for the sons and daughters of Jacob. If it, like I said earlier, if it's a promise, it's for you and for me. All praises. And it's right there in black and white, and they just blow right by it. Verse 15, my brothers, I speak as among men, because a covenant of man that is established, no man set aside or changes anything in it. Now the promise was promised to Abraham and to his seed. Again, identifying who we're talking about. And he said not to him, to your seeds, as to many, but to your seed as to one, who is Messiah. Now, Messiah was of the tribe of Judah, which was a son of Jacob, who was a son of Isaac. It says in the book of Romans, we read it a couple of weeks ago, that in Isaac shall your seed be called. Here, the naming of the seed has moved down. It was in Romans, it was in Isaac shall your seed be called. In Galatians, in Messiah shall your seed be called. But it's still in the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Still in the line. It never skipped out of the line. Did not Messiah say when he was on the earth, I am not sent except unto the lost sheep of the house of Joseph? Then the only people he came for. He came for his own sheep. He said, my sheep will hear my voice, and the voice of a stranger or a person of another nation they will not follow. Hallelujah. Verse 17, and this I say that the covenant, once again, back to Romans chapter 9, if it's a covenant, it's talking to Jacob, which was previously established by AHAYAH and Messiah. The law, which was 430 years after, is not able to set it aside and make the promise void. Again, if it's a promise, talking about Jacob. Now, if the inheritance was by the law, then it was not by promise. But AHAYAH gave it to Abraham by promise. And if it was given to Abraham by promise, it was given to Isaac by promise, it was given to Jacob by promise, and it was given to you and me by promise. Hallelujah. Verse 19, why then was the law? It was added because of transgression, until that seed should come to whom the promise was made. And that the law was given by the way of angels by the hand of a mediator. Now, a mediator is not of one, but AHAYAH is one. Therefore, is the law opposite to the promise of AHAYAH? Let it not be so. For if a law had been given that was able to give life, truly justification would have been from the law. Verse 22, but the scriptures have confined everything under sin, so that the promise by the trust of Yeshua Messiah will be given to those who believe. You can't partake of something that wasn't for you. The promises were set aside, including the promise of having trust or faith in Messiah, Yeshua. That's a promise too. To have access to him through faith is a promise too. So you don't get to to take hold of something that wasn't for you. And like I say, the Romans chapter 9, verses 1 through 5 is like the Rosetta Stone of the New Testament. Now we understand. Now we can see that if it deals with covenants, it's talking about the children of Jacob. If it's dealing with promises, it's talking about the children of Jacob. If it's dealing with the law, it's talking about the children of Jacob. If it's dealing with the adoption, it's talking about the children of Jacob. So let's keep reading. Verse 23, now until faith came, the law was guarding us while we were confined from the faith that was going to be revealed. Therefore, the law was our tutor for us for Messiah, that we should be justified by trust. Now that trust has come, we are no longer under tutors. For all of you, verse 26, for all of you are sons of AHAYAH by faith in Yeshua Messiah. For those who have been immersed in Messiah have put on Messiah. There is neither circumcision nor uncircumcision. There is neither servant nor free man. There is neither male nor female. For all of you are one in Yeshua Messiah. And if you are Messiahs, then you are Abraham, the seed of Abraham, and heirs of the promise. Once again, if it's a promise made, it's only made to the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Only. Those will be the 12 tribes in the earth. Those of us who've been scattered abroad. Hear what I'm saying today. These promises. The promise of having a Messiah to believe in. The promise of having a covenant to believe in. The promise of having an all-knowing, all-powerful, Most High, who is watching over you, who has sent you prophets and apostles to speak the word of truth to you. For you to wake up to the truth, to walk in all the truth, and has sent his spirit to not only comfort you, to not only instruct you, but to give you power. Power over sin, power to walk in the newness of life. That you would be free of sin and free also to practice uprightness by the Most High Spirit in these last days. All praise to the Most High, AHAYAH, and his son, Yeshua, the Messiah. Hallelujah.